This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello and welcome to the How to Quit Working Show. We have got a fun and special show coming up today. You know, the How to Quit Working Show has been around for, I think, probably about, what is this, maybe 2.5 years, I think we're coming up on. And I have gotten probably hundreds, I haven't counted them, but well into the hundreds of emails from folks who have been in some way, shape, or form impacted by the program. We've had people who have never even joined any of our programs, never even done coaching or anything, and have gotten tremendous results just from the inspiration and free content that we put out on this podcast and through the email list and other avenues. But one of the things that is really, really fun is when you can really highlight exactly how the How to Quit Working Show, in conjunction with some other things, has helped someone. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be talking to Elizabeth. She goes by Beth Cody, and she is someone who has been a member of the How to Quit Working Circle for quite some time. And she heard an interview that I did with Jay Massey, and that was quite a while ago. I think it was probably a year or more ago. And it really resonated with her because she's going to tell her story, but she wanted to get into real estate investing. She did not want to keep doing that 9-to-5 thing that wasn't giving her the lifestyle or the income or anything that she wanted. She wanted to do something different, and she had a passion for real estate investing, and that was really what she wanted to get into. And she is going to tell you how listening to the How to Quit Working Show and discovering Jay Massey and his great program has helped her. This is a hugely inspirational episode. I love it because this is all about how this whole thing works. This is about how listening to a show like this and listening for things that resonate with you and then taking action when those things do indeed resonate. This is showing you what happens when you take that action. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore. We're just going to jump right into our interview. Beth Cody, let's take it away. Beth, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to have you here because you've got a really great story. Now, you were like most of the folks around How to Quit Working in that you were looking for something different to do. Tell us a little bit about that situation.
Well, when I first joined How to Quit Working, I was originally looking at web design. In my head, I thought I had to build a business in order to get to the business I really wanted to be in, which was real estate investing. That was always my dream. But I thought I would have to wait, until I'm in my late 20s, until, my 40s or 50s, until retirement age to invest to have the money. So I was building a business to get to a business, decades down the road. And finally I said, well, why can't I just do it now? And I reached out and I was led to a really fantastic investing program that has helped me not only grow as a business person, but as a person personally as well.
Excellent. Well, we want to talk about that program, but before we do that, talk about what you're doing in real estate now.
Right now, I am a deal syndicator, which means that I actually pull people together who have similar investing goals and in different areas that they're looking to invest in. They're all looking for the same kinds of returns, and I bring them together in order to create bigger deals to reduce the risk of things like vacancy or market downturns, that kind of thing. And I also do wholesaling and buy and hold investing as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so with the syndication, it's like you're pulling together people. Maybe if you have a project that's $500,000, two investors each have $250,000, so together then they've got the right amount of money, right?
Right, yeah. I bring people together who think they can't do these bigger projects themselves, like multifamilies or apartment buildings, and I bring them together in order that these bigger properties can be attained and put into their portfolio.
Excellent, excellent. And then tell us a little bit of it, just because some of our listeners probably don't have any idea. What does wholesaling mean?
Wholesaling is in real estate where you go out and you find sellers who have problems. They need to get out of their property for one reason or another, and you're offering them a solution. And that solution is for them to put the property under contract with you, and then you will bring in a buyer who will then give them the capital they're looking for so that they can walk away from the property and get on with their lives. So wholesaling is basically not just point A of the transaction, which is buying, and point B, which is selling. You're the in-between.
I gotcha. And the most important question there, you do make some money in that transaction, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There is, with each transaction, it's different. It always depends on the building, the area. But really, your fee is whatever you name. So it's really up to you how much you make and what you think is reasonable for that particular transaction.
Yeah, and it's the difference between what the seller sells it for and what the buyer pays, what the buyer buys it for, right?
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, now you weren't born a real estate expert. You weren't born knowing how to do this. Tell us about the transition. And I think it's so cool that you initially thought that you were going to build this web development business that was going to be a bridge to real estate investing that you ultimately wanted to do, but you actually discovered, no, I don't need to take that interim step. I can just go right to what I really want to do. Tell us about how you discovered that you could do that.
So I actually found this amazing program called Cashflow Diary that's run by Jay Massey. And Jay has been more than just a real estate mentor and educator. He has been a really great friend as well. He really reaches out personally to everybody who joins and really listens and understands the situation. Before I found Cashflow Diary, I just graduated from college, so I was only about a year or two out of college, and again trying to grow a business from home, my web design business. And of course those are, there's certainly no shortages of web designers out there. It's a very tough business to get into, and while I really enjoyed the work, again, finding clients, finding those specific problems to solve for them was just turning into such a challenge. And, being straight out of college, I didn't get out unscathed with, student loans. Sure. I have quite a few of those. So I kept waiting for, someday to come. Someday I'll be able to get into real estate investing. Someday I'll really make it. Someday I'll do it. Someday hasn't shown up yet. So I said, forget it. I'm making someday today. So I never really thought that I had that mind for finances, or was terribly, my degree was actually in English and ancient history. So I'm very much more of a creative person. And I had no idea that there was room in real estate investing for creative people who don't, who aren't terribly mathematically inclined. I thought I'd have to become an accountant to be able to do this. So Jay really emphasizes, being creative, finding problems and solutions that are completely outside of the box. You can't, you'll never succeed if you just stay in the box. The best ways of helping people are way outside. So that was definitely one of the biggest eye-openers for me, was that I didn't have to completely change, per se.
So, Elizabeth, I think a lot of people would say, I can't get into real estate investing because I don't have a bunch of money to invest. What would you tell those folks?
Yeah, neither did I. $55,000 in student loans, working, a job just over broke. I had very little, and surprisingly, for all the promises that were made in college of, you're going to get a great job and be able to pay these loans back super quick, the jobs that I took, they paid less than $20,000 a year, and that was barely enough for me to survive. And this is not uncommon for college students. And I'm an investor. I don't use my own money. I work with other people's money. And that's another thing about being creative and having to think outside of the box is you have to kind of get rid of well, I don't have millions to invest. That's exactly what I thought I would have to do. I thought I would have to build a huge corporation to then take that money and go out and invest. You can invest from your bedroom. You can invest from a table in Starbucks. You don't need your own capital. There are people out there who are dying to get better returns than what banks and savings accounts are offering, because the percentages on things like savings accounts are really pathetic.
Yeah.
They are so sad. And people are hungry. They are hungry for better solutions you can offer them.
Excellent. So the bottom line is that you don't have to have the money. You can work with other people to get the money, private individuals or other types of situations. How would somebody even know how to do that? We just walk up to strangers at Starbucks and ask them for money?
Well, no, I wouldn't recommend tapping everyone and being like, hi, money. No, it's the best place to start off is certainly with people doctors, attorneys, accountants. They are people who are looking for better returns, and they have, this higher financial mindset, per se, but also just your neighbors, your family members who are tired of not getting very much in the banks. They're worried about retirement. Parents who are terrified of outliving their nest egg. People who need your help are everywhere, and they're in all kinds of places, and not just not just in big investing clubs, but yeah, they can be at Starbucks.
Excellent. So did you find the process to be difficult to reach out to people and ask them for money?
In the beginning, yes, because as a creative person, I'm also a huge introvert, so where I prefer to be is sitting in a corner reading a book. Talking to people is not really my thing, but I actually learned...
This is a great point, everybody. Listen up. Elizabeth is an introvert, and she's been very successful at this. So I just want to make sure everybody's listening. Continue.
But I actually learned a really fantastic tool that Jay taught me. A great, fun way of reaching out to people, and it's called Cashflow 101. I literally play a board game with people that teaches them financial investing, real estate investing, and it brings people together. They have so much fun. They bring their kids. I actually do this in a couple of different cities in North Florida, and the things every single time, even my regulars who are there, every other week in some cities I do it, they every time they walk away learning something new. And it's been it's a great icebreaker.
Yeah.
It's a great no pressure kind of situation, because, how hard is it to ask someone, hey, you want to play a board game?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than saying, hey, you want to give me $500,000?
That's cool. So Cashflow is a game by Robert Kiyosaki, and it is a game that is designed to teach, for anyone out there who isn't familiar with it, it's designed to teach people the basics of finance. And what's really interesting about the game is that when I've talked to other people who've played it and played it myself, it seems like kids are really good at it because their minds aren't all warped like adults are. But anyway, so you have these gatherings where you play this game and folks learn about cash flow, and then how does that dovetail into potentially getting investor funds from them?
Well, what usually happens is people, because I present this, and I also really encourage people, the role of my games is if you've done this more than once, you better do it differently this time. So if you don't usually like to play with stocks, do it today. Just go all out. And so I really encourage people to kind of think outside of the box, and I'm showing them different investing strategies as well and teaching them basic investing principles. And people are looking at me going, wow, she knows what she's talking about, which surprises me sometimes too. But and so people are coming up to me later saying, I'd really love to work with you. And that's basically how I build my business. The board game is the cornerstone of my business. I never in a million years would have said this monopoly on steroids situation is how I'm building an investing business, but it's true. And it's the most fun I've ever had building a business, really.
Wow, this is amazing stuff. Elizabeth, tell us a little bit more about the cash flow program and kind of what you think has been the best part of that.
The Cash Flow Diary program, there is resources and courses for almost every aspect of investing you could possibly be interested in. If you're looking for buy and hold, if you're looking to raise capital for bigger projects like I do, multifamily, it's all there. Wholesaling, of course, is a very big one. Really, it's not just wholesaling. There is so much more out there, but wholesaling is by far the best stepping stone into the real estate investing world that I've ever seen. And again, the program, it's so thorough, and the principles, Jay really breaks them down in such an amazing way, because I'm a visual person. I can't just hear something and understand it. Again, introvert and a visual person. I was a lot of fun in school, but so I have to see things.
Yeah.
I have to see how things unfold. And Jay does that visually. He really understands all the different learning types, which I think is a big deal. And he breaks it down. He loves educating. And his enthusiasm for it has really reached out to me. And I am now enthusiastic to teach people through my cash flow board games as well. And yeah, the program is so widespread. And there's all the courses, including things like just how to basically run a business. You would think you would know how to do that going in, but I'm still learning things. I still go over the courses all the time and take time every day to go over things I've already learned because I forget. Probably the biggest thing that I've taken away from Cash Flow Diary is how to keep myself motivated. Because no matter how much you learn in real estate investing, there's always going to be a deal that doesn't go through. Something's not going to work out. And I've learned how to stay motivated, how to stay positive, how to keep going, even when things don't pan out the right way. And it's all not just about kind of emotionally distancing yourself from deals. Because when I started, every deal that didn't follow through, it felt like, someone had kicked my puppy. It was very emotionally devastating, but you also learn to build a thick skin over time. It's not such a big deal. But definitely his strategies for motivation, of really having to look inside yourself as a person, outside of investing, that has probably been the biggest thing I've taken away. Definitely personally and as an investor is how this has changed me overall and my mindset and how I interact with people and how I do business with them is more personal instead of just an exchange of money, because money's everywhere. But the big thing is really helping people solve their problems and in turn helping yourself grow.
So you don't feel like you're going out there and just trying to get money out of people, right? I mean, it sounds like your mentality is more about, I'm going to go out there and talk to these people and see how I can help them.
Exactly. That was the big thing, is because I thought, well, I'm, like we said earlier, I'm going to have to go hit up people for money now. And that's definitely not the way Jay teaches it. It's talk to people. People have problems that they're looking to have solved. You're a problem solver. That is your number one job. And if you can't solve their problem, there's something you can do. You walk away. And that's another big thing, is because people, I think a lot of business people, especially people who in sales and that kind of thing, they're so attached to each sale. Sometimes it seems like a life or death situation if the transaction doesn't go through. But with Jay, there's 7 billion people on this planet. There's plenty of opportunity, and you don't have to stay in your own area. There's, states away, other cities. People are looking for help. There's plenty of opportunities. If the one right in front of you doesn't work, you just, walk away and find somebody who can use your help, because there's always people out there.
Amazing stuff. So, Elizabeth, would you recommend Jay's course, Cash Flow Diary, to somebody who's listening?
Absolutely. I would say if you have even just a flirtation of an interest with real estate investing, I would definitely say take a look at Jay's program, because if it can help somebody who had absolutely no investing experience at all, only understood it from what she saw on HGTV, which really isn't realistic, and was able to go, in only a few months from complete novice to somebody who now runs these cash flow games and reaching out and speaking at investors meetings, it can help anybody.
Yeah.
I promise. So I definitely feel like everybody should be checking out Cashflow Diary, even if you don't do real estate investing, because his business principles and his networking strategies and ways of getting leads, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
Excellent. Well, you can get more information about that at howtoquitworking.com/cashflow. Again, it's howtoquitworking.com/cashflow, all one word. Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about what is your life like right now?
Well, right now I spend quite a bit of time traveling. I'm basically only in my own apartment, maybe half the time. I travel from I live in North Florida in Tallahassee to Gainesville quite a bit for cash flow games. Okay. And I'm also looking to expand into Pensacola and possibly Alabama and Georgia. So I'm going to be doing a lot more traveling in the next couple of months to really tap into more investment communities and opportunities, different markets, and also teach people, because another big thing with the game, it's not necessarily just about getting business for myself. It's also about, I love teaching people. I have become addicted to teaching people. And so educating people and showing people that you don't have to have a 9-to-5 to be successful in life, which I think is kind of the core of How to Quit Working. Yeah. So that there are other options. There's always other options, and you just have to be willing to take those risks. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of traveling. I'm working on some syndication situations right now. I've gotten some really good leads. I've recently spoke at an investors meeting in Gainesville and looking at doing a couple of other speaking engagements possibly in the next couple of months.
Very, very cool. Very exciting. What's next for you? What's the next big thing in your life?
For me, the next thing is within the next year, I'm looking to relocate to some bigger cities, possibly New York or Chicago.
Wow. You're taking on Donald Trump.
I know, right?
I mean, if he becomes president, somebody's going to have to go do the real estate there.
Yeah, that's true, but my hair is my own, so...
Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm teasing you.
That's okay. Yeah, so I'm looking to relocate personally as well as professionally, kind of looking out there into some more... some different types of markets. I wouldn't say more challenging, because real estate investing it's universal. It can be done anywhere. But definitely looking forward to trying some of those bigger markets where they're looking for different problems and kind of growing myself as an investor.
Amazing, amazing stuff. Elizabeth, I am so excited to hear about the great progress that you've made and the amazing life that you've created for yourself. I love that you're just so excited about what you're doing.
I do. I really love doing it. When you work a 9-to-5 job and you're at the mercy of a boss, you really don't feel like you make a difference in your community and in other people's lives. You feel like your job, your job just over broke, is just to make your boss more money. Yeah. And that's your entire purpose. And if you do something that messes that up, then there is hell to pay. Yeah. But now working for myself and being somebody who people are looking up to as a center of influence, as a center of expertise, that has been, there are no words for that. The confidence that it's given me, again, as a person, as an investor, and yeah, the excitement, it just continues to kind of build on itself. I wake up every day, I get really excited. I go look at the newspaper for opportunities. I've learned that they're everywhere. Yeah. That they're on the street corners. And now I look at life as what opportunity is going to come my way today, not what bills do I have to pay? Oh, I have to deal with my boss.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great stuff. Elizabeth, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for sharing your story. I appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you'll keep me and the How to Quit Working audience up to date on the amazing things that you're doing in the future.
Thank you so much for having me, Jeff.
So as you heard from the interview with Beth, when you hear something and it resonates with you and you take action, amazing things happen. You can just hear the excitement and the confidence in Beth's voice during this interview. You know, I thought it was really funny when she said it kind of blows her away when people look at her as the expert on how to make money. And she was not born that way. She was not born with that knowledge. In fact, a year ago, she didn't have that knowledge, but now she does. And that is what happens when you just go out there and do things and take action. And she was the first to admit, hey, it's not easy. There's work involved. And, you know, I take a lot of pride in the fact that here on the How to Quit Working show, we don't ever try to make anything sound easy because, let's face it, it's not. Concepts of business really aren't that complicated. It's just that we weren't exposed to them. And the same thing is true of real estate, but there are things that you have to know. And I wanted to just again remind you that if you want more information about the program that Beth went through and you'd like some free information from Jay Massey about his cash flow program and just some very good actionable free information, I just read the ebook that he is offering, and it is great. It has got some amazing stuff that will just totally change the way that you think about real estate investing and think about business in general. And it shows you that these concepts and these things that people like Beth and Jay Massey and many of the other successful real estate investors that we've had on the show, the things that they know and the things that they do are not big secrets. They're not rocket science. It's just some things that you have to understand. Some different ways of looking at things, different ways of approaching things. One of my favorite things that Beth talked about in the interview was how, you know, her idea of going out to get private money from investors is not about going out there and begging for money, like, give me some money, you know, and I think that makes people really uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable to just go out there and ask people for money without really knowing what you're going to do with it. But you don't have to ask for it without knowing what to do with it. You can go over and get this information from Jay. You can get his 10 words that you need to successfully find real estate investors, as well as a lot of really great basic training on here's all the different things that you can do in real estate. Here's a little more detail about how wholesaling works. Here is a little bit more detail about how syndication, as Elizabeth talked about, works, and lots of other stuff. A couple of really key things that I wanted to point out is Jay talks about resources, and he talks about when you have the mentality of, well, I can't do this because I don't have that. And this is what we hear all the time. I can't do real estate investing because I don't have money. Or I can't do real estate investing because I don't know anybody with money. I can't do real estate investing because I don't have great credit. All of these things Jay talks you through in this information that you can get over at howtoquitworking.com/cashflow. Again, it's howtoquitworking.com/cashflow. And he talks about how to address all of these I don't have this, I don't have that stuff. He also talks about his own story, and you would talk about not having anything. Jay didn't have anything when he got started, and he wouldn't mind me saying that. He's actually very proud of the fact that he has built his business and become a successful real estate investor without having anything. Terrible credit score. He had no money. Was squatting in bank-owned property. I don't want to get into his story because he'll do a much better job of telling it than I do. But go over to howtoquitworking.com/cashflow. Get more information from Jay about how you, just by virtue of the fact that you're a human being with a brain and the willingness and the motivation to take action to change your situation, he'll show you how you can do it as well. Now, a couple of the things that he's going to show you in that the resource that he's providing is how to find buyers and sellers. Like, because you might be thinking, it's like Elizabeth explained how wholesaling works. She finds a buyer, she finds a seller, and she hooks them up, and she takes a profit from that transaction. But you're probably thinking, well, how do I find those buyers and sellers? Well, that's kind of what Jay talks about. So if you go over to howtoquitworking.com/cashflow, you can get all of that great information from him. And most of all, I think one of the things that really challenges folks when they're getting into a space that they're not comfortable with or not familiar with yet is, how the heck do I tell people what I do? How do I tell people what I do in a way that they will understand and want to get involved? And Jay has 10 words that you can use, and I'm not going to give them away because he would be really mad if I gave them away. You've got to go over to howtoquitworking.com/cashflow so that you can get those magical 10 words that you can say to someone that will help them to A, understand what it is that you do, and B, want to get involved if that's the right thing for them. So this is a ton of great information. And if you've been following the How to Quit Working show for any length of time, you know that I don't do these types of promotions. I don't send you to other people's stuff very often. I've only done it a handful of times, and I only do it when I really, really believe in the product and the person who is offering the product. When Jay was on the How to Quit Working show, if you listen to that episode, we had a great rapport, and I could just tell that what he was offering was something that was good and was something that would resonate with this audience. And when I approached Jay about partnering up on this, he was like, yes, let's do it. It sounds like a great idea. So go over to howtoquitworking.com/cashflow and get that great ebook and the great information that Jay provides, as well as the great video out there that's going to help you to figure out how to deal with those resources issues, how to find buyers and sellers, and how to talk to people about what you do in a way that is going to make them understand and want to get involved. So go over to howtoquitworking.com/cashflow and jump in on that as soon as you get to a computer if you're not at one. And I will talk to you next time on the How to Quit Working show, and we'll talk about some more amazing stuff about quitting your job and starting a business.